Yeah, well, Sherry Cole is a great coach, and they could maybe down. I think they had some transfers in the off season, so they're down a few players. But she knows how to coach, and she knows how to motivate and inspire and get the most out of her players. So, it didn't surprise me at all that she competed so well, and not just against Connecticut. They also competed really well against Texas too. It's just a really well coached team.
For you guys in practice, have you guys, I know it's probably been a point of emphasis all year long, but turnovers just seem to continue to be a problem. I would think if you could cut maybe 5, 8 of those out, it would help you guys tremendously.
Yeah, it would. It certainly would. So we're working on it.
Can you talk to us a little bit about Pierre Louis? We kind of talked about her a little earlier, but just a really good, powerful, big inside. And you mentioned knowing her from high school, seeing her play in high school. How have you seen her play just develop?
She has really evolved as a player, just everything, her skill set, to her work ethic, to her conditioning. And she's a complete post player now. I was talking to you earlier about this, Taylor. It just doesn't get any easier in this league with posts. And so she's going to be a really tough one-on-one matchup for us, but I'm confident in our bigs, and we watched film this morning as a group, the post players and myself, and so they know what to expect, and we're excited.
Beyond the post play, what are some of the things that you guys have talked about just in your scouting report for Oklahoma?
Some of the things that we've talked about for us, or just other things for Oklahoma, is we have to take care of our advantage on the boards. And as difficult as it might be for a one-on-one matchup with us and Pierre, it's going to be an even more difficult one-on-one matchup for her and us. We have a definite advantage size-wise, and we have a definite advantage on the glass. And so we've talked about in the last week of finding ways to generate more offense, more points for us. And so that is one of those ways, is to take care of the glass.
Any update on Rosse's condition?
No, still no update. It's just day to day.
How do you like the way the other players in the backcourt have stepped up and played in her absence?
Oh, I'm incredibly pleased with the whole, not just the guards, but the team, the entire team. They are confident. They're playing with confidence, and it's all part of the controllables. You can't control injuries or when Rasay is going to come back or if she comes back, and that's not our focus. We can only control what we can do in this moment, and I feel like these guys have really stepped up and bought into that. They're playing with a great deal of confidence. We've been in these last 2 games, and they've seen that. Grayson, she is not a point guard, and she had 7 assists and 4 turnovers against pressure. I mean, TCU's pressure was relentless. It was probably the most pressure consistent from beginning to end that we've seen. And they even changed their starting lineup and started a pressure lineup, a pressing lineup, TCU did. And for Grayson to have 7 assists to 4 turnovers, that's huge for her confidence going into Oklahoma.
Coach, could you talk about the progress of Lindsay Wilby? Because it seems like, especially in Big 12 play, she's starting to kind of get the hang of things.
Yeah, so what I love about Lindsay is that she's a freshman, so she doesn't know any better. She doesn't know any better, so she doesn't know that she's supposed to be nervous in Big 12 play, that Big 12 play is supposed to be harder than the non-conference, because she's a freshman. She doesn't know any better, so we're just going to keep riding that and hope she stays clueless like that for the rest of the season, because she's playing really well.
Coach, OU's got 5 players in double figures. I mean, where do you start defending them?
I mean, that's the thing about this league, and we talked about this the other day with TCU, and here's the deal, is that it's going to be tough to defend OU because they have drivers, they have 3 really good shooters, and they have a really good post player. That's their starting lineup. Really good driver, 3 really good shooters, and a really good post player. But they have to defend us too. Like, how are they going to defend our 2 bigs? They start 4 guards. So is Manning going to guard Aaron DeGreat? So we're just really going to focus on how we can score, and that's because those are the things that we can control. Oklahoma, they've had 5 guys in double digits all year, and that's not going to change. But we've got to focus on areas in which we can exploit them and score.
What's the team's attitude been after the TCU loss?
They were pretty dejected because they're competitive and they want to win, and that's what we want. But our deal right now is we can't focus on the outcome. We really can't, and it's hard for me to explain that to 20-year-olds. But we really have to focus on the process, because if all we did was focus on the outcome, then we'd all be really, really disappointed because we're not there yet. But if we put our energy into the process, then the scoreboard is going to take care of itself. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Do you feel like you have an advantage inside? I mean, just from their depth standpoint versus your depth, that might be something we might see a lot, that you might try to pound inside a lot tomorrow?
I feel like we've been trying to do that, right over the course of the year. I feel like we have a definite advantage inside against everyone we've played. And we have 3 post players. I'm not exactly sure what they're scoring now, but before the TCU game, all 3 post players were shooting in the 60% field goal range. I think maybe Brewers dropped a little bit, but we have 3 really good post players. And so we haven't played anyone yet. Baylor has 2 really good post players, but TCU has 2 good post players. We haven't played anyone yet that has 3 really good post players.